Hey, it's Tyrone Jackson from Wealthy Investor Trade School. Another hot video I think you want to pay attention to, and one I think you're going to like. You've noticed since we've had a new president that all of a sudden the stock market has been rising, and you're saying to yourself, why, Tyrone? What is going on here? But I want to point out something to you that no one in the media is talking about except for me. See, I want you to take a look at this chart. You know, we always do everything in the Wealthy Investor program by picture first. Here's a company called Goldman Sachs, and they're huge in the space of investment banking. They make their money doing what? Merging companies together that are public and private, and they make billions and billions of dollars in fees. Notice the stock's behavior here. All of a sudden, it's gone from what looks like in the last 6 months a low of about $158, just higher, higher, higher and higher, and this has been pulling up the Dow and the S&P. Now this is a banking stock, and if you're paying attention, right, sometimes I have to explain to you what's really going on in the world. If you're paying attention, there's a lot of talk about deregulation, deregulating Wall Street. What does that mean? Well, an investment banking company like Goldman Sachs actually has rules forced upon it by the federal government. And now that we have a new administration, they think we need less rules. Why are those rules put in place? To help to fight off greed. But when you deregulate the investment banking industry, you're allowing them to have to play by less rules, therefore they can make more money. And we're in an age right now where the people at the top, the really rich, want deregulation because it makes them more and more money. It's a little bit more about greed than it is profits. I want you to take a look at another banking stock that's pushing both the S&P higher and other indexes, and this is JP Morgan, which is more of a bank, right? You recognize them as the brand behind Chase Bank, but look at the stock here, down at 67, and look at how this has climbed since we've gotten a brand new administration. Why is the stock price climbing? Because again, deregulation favors banks and investment banks. Less rules, more profit, more greed. I do not think you should own these stocks at all. But I want to show you something else here. This is a banking stock called Bank of America. As you know, a member of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You would say, Tyrone, what's the problem with owning the stock? It's a member of the Dow. Well, the stock went from an all-time low in the last 6 months to $15, higher, 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 to where it's sitting now to about $24. You see that sitting right there? And there's a tendency to say, well, Tyrone, I want to own this stock. It's cheap. Therefore, with what I have in my trading account, I can own more shares. But what you don't see is the effects of deregulation. And I want to show you this picture of the stock. This is a much longer term chart. Look where Bank of America used to be. It peaked at one point up to 39. It pulled back violently, and then it went all the way from $53 all the way down, slammed down to $3.95. Now, the last thing I want is for you to lose money in the stock market. The last thing that you want is to lose money in the stock market. You want to have the financial education and know enough to know that for you, a retail investor, the last thing that you want to own are banking stocks. You want to stay in technology and developing companies that own real estate and merchandising. Why? Those are stories that you understand. You never want to subject yourself to being a share owner in a stock that faces government regulations or deregulation, because what? The rapid decline in the stock can come very swiftly. Now, I'm just telling you this because a lot of people in the media are not talking about this, and I want to share this information with you. Everybody who follows me around the world knows how I feel about Disney stock. Look at Disney stock of the past 10 years. This is a picture. A picture is worth 1,000 words. A picture is worth 1,000 words. How much money could you own having owned Disney stock when it was around $16 a share? And look at what it's done in this environment. While banking stocks were declining and slamming down to all-time lows, notice Disney stock is rising. Why? They're in the real estate business, the merchandise business, the movie business, and they do very, very well. This is a stock I think you should own for the long term. Yes, sometimes it doesn't move, but over the long term, it is going to be better for your portfolio. Okay? So I don't want you to get excited about deregulation here because Goldman Sachs stock is rising. I don't want you to get excited about deregulation because JP Morgan stock is rising. I want you to see the effects of deregulation on banking stocks when it does not go well. they fall substantially. I know some of you out there are going to disagree with me, but remember, I'm more in favor of you taking a little bit more of a conservative approach to investing and owning the winning stocks that win over time, not just the stocks that are hot and in vogue at the moment. That's not how you play the game for wealth and residual income. Okay, so remember that as part of today's lesson, that sometimes the banking stocks, probably not for you, but for institutional investors who must own them. And just for those of you who know, if you want to follow my trades on a weekly basis and see the whole list of stocks that I recommend for long term, just start your membership at witradeschool.com. Many of you have, and you have found it to be a worthwhile thing, because at WI Trade School is where you can study the market and watch 84 videos with the most popular strategies and the stocks that I recommend that you own right now. It's got to be worth it for you to have a place, an environment where you can come back to over and over again. That's video based, where you can learn strategies, dividend collections, covered calls, stock splits, and what that means. You just can't find it on YouTube alone. So start your membership at WI Trade School if you're ready to go to that next level and really start to make some investing and trading profits on a consistent and monthly basis. I'll be there to help you, and every single week I answer your questions as a trade school member. Remember, banking stocks not for you, more for institutions, and beware of deregulation. It is not good for the average retail investor.